people of YouTube? Mountbatten here, and today we're going to be discussing a topic that I planned on discussing actually before the the Santa container event went live, but with the Santa container fiasco this year, naturally I wanted to talk about that and cover that fully, and that took prime time over the weekend and into Tuesday, but now we can finally discuss the Missouri and how I believe she is not worth what you have to go through to get her anymore, although I'm sure many of you gave up on trying to get her a long time ago. But I do know there are quite a few out there that are still hoping to nab her and get her into their port because, well, she's the Missouri. And for those of you that don't know much about the Missouri, well, let's go on a little history lesson right here. So the Missouri was originally added to the game way back in the day, back before we even had Tier 9 premium ships, back before the Armory, back before the Seaver rework, way back in the day. Missouri was the very first Tier 9 premium / reward / whatever the heck you want to call it ship. You could obtain her for the low price of 750,000 free XP, which I'm sure many of you are going, God, that's incredibly cheap. Well, back in the day, you young'uns, that wasn't that cheap. This is back before we had any special signal flags. We had the economy flags, and I think we had maybe one or two of the special signal flags, or they came out during Missouri's availability. But this is, again, before you could mount 21 signal flags on your ship. You can only have 8. Much simpler times in the game. Anyway. So, but by today's standards, of course, 750,000 free XP is not a lot anymore. Our Tier 9 free XP ships nowadays are around 1 million free XP, or if you're the Hayate, 2 million free XP. But back to the Missouri. So, her thing is that she is an Iowa-class battleship with radar, and that's it, as far as mechanics-wise. Now, economically, she has the best economy in the game, only beatable by purchasing the Roma with the beer can camo. That's the only way you can beat the Missouri's economy in game currently. And that's what she was known for, just absolutely printing credits. I should say is known for, because she still can do it today. The match you're watching right now was a pretty darn good match, and you guys will see the results at the end of this video. And again, Missouri does what Missouri does, even with the conditions of the outcome of this match. So, that being said, many players still wish to get a Missouri, and I see the comments all the time in my video. Anytime Missouri is brought up, how people are going to try and get her at the end of the year via the Christmas containers, or, well, Santa containers. And, I mean, Missouri is, of course, one of the ships that Wargaming will tout that you can potentially get in these Santa containers at the end of the year. It's on their website right now. It was even when I was doing research for yesterday's video, I was going back to, the 2017, 2018, 2019 Santa container events. The Missouri is often one of these ships touted that you can get in the Santa containers. And it's on the headlines. Naturally, Wargaming wants people to buy containers to make money, and they are, of course, going to advertise this ship as one of the ones that you can get. And it's the only Tier 9 premium that stands out above the rest just for its economy. Like I've said before, the Jean Bart's pretty darn good at printing credits, but not because it has any special economy, just because the Jean Bart is very good at farming damage because of her guns, the way they're set up with the main battery reload booster, and with their accuracy, and with that French 15-inch AP. It's fantastic for that. And like I say, it's probably the next best thing to Missouri that you can get for just, for the Black Friday event. Unfortunately, you can't get the Jean Bar anymore. But for the Black Friday event, that's why I recommended it so much, because you can just have plenty of credits laying around after a pretty darn decent game in the Jean Bar. But the Missouri, you don't need to have a decent game. You can have even a mild game, and you can easily earn near 1 million credits. I've had matches in Missouri where I've lost and only did like 70 or 80,000 damage, but I still finished by making 770,000 credits by the end of it, just because of her economy. Of course, having premium time helps with that too, and the special signal flags. But today, I do not believe Missouri's worth it anymore. And I am one that wailed for Missouri back in the day. I mentioned this in yesterday's video as well. I spent darn near $730 getting the Missouri. I just graduated college. I already had a job secured, and I splurged a little bit. Warships was my hobby back in the days before the channel really took off, and I was willing to spend the money on it. And I got the Missouri and a whole boatload of premium ships, premium time, flags, coal. God, the 2018 Santa crates were freaking amazing. Even with the system that they used back then, I mean, still got what I wanted. It cost a lot of money though, but I did a whole video breaking that down about how much I spent versus what I got, so you can go check that out if you're really interested in that. I got the Missouri and played her, and it's an Iowa with radar. Go figure. It plays like an Iowa, shoots like an Iowa, handles like an Iowa, and all that jazz. But in today's World of Warships, she's she's not that great anymore. And the thing with the Missouri, she's a premium ship, or a reward ship, whatever you want to call it. They aren't supposed to mess with these ships after they get released much. They can change them globally if they make global changes to a class overall. That can get changed. However, individual ship changes or individual line changes often aren't applied to premium ships. And one big thing that the Missouri has missed out on is the improved American battleship hull. Missouri still has the old American battleship hull, which is, well, bad. It's bad. It's really freaking bad. And this is what all American battleships used to have up until, I think about a year and a half ago. So the old American battleship hull was 469 points of HP per second for 28 seconds. The new American battleship hull is 625 hit points a second for 28 seconds. You do the math. That is a whole lot more health, especially in today's World of Warships. And if I was in a normal Iowa, I'm pretty sure this match would have ended differently. As you can see, you should be probably about the point things start to get dicey in the replay about now. Well, not a replay, I recorded this live. I'm hurting pretty bad in the Missouri, and if I was in the Iowa with that improved heal, I wouldn't be hurting as much. I'd be able to recover a lot more health and tank for a lot longer than I was able to in the Missouri. And in modern World of Warships, with the amount of HE spam, with the amount of CVs in the game now, with the amount of ships that have very quick reloading torpedoes like the EU DDs, you really feel that lack of heal now. It's especially rough after playing ships, like Iowa, Montana, Georgia for a stream, because you guys really like seeing those ships on stream, and then having to go back to this ship when I need to record footage or something. You really don't know what you're missing until it's gone, and boy, does that show here. So that's the biggest issue that goes against her in the game currently. Now, she did get her Citadel lowered when they did lower the other American battleship's Citadel, so that is very much appreciative. She doesn't just blow up like the North Carolina still does. Poor North Carolina didn't get her Citadel lowered. So she did get that changed. Why they didn't change the hill, I don't know. If you're listening, Wargaming, all of us Missouri owners would very much appreciate it if you would give her the improved American battleship hill, because that would just take her from being a worse Iowa just back to an Iowa. Now, the other part is the radar. The radar used to be a really big advantage, even up until about a year and a half ago. But recently, good God, radar has gone absolutely through the roof. It's like almost every new cruiser that gets added into the game, especially at higher tiers, seems to have radar. And, I play battleships mostly mainly, so I don't really notice it that much because it doesn't really bother me because, we're spotted from across the map in the first place anyway. But now that I'm starting to dive more into cruisers and destroyers, it's like, God dang, I feel like I'm being microwaved with the amount of radar that's around here now. So, the radar, it's certainly a utility, and I do use it to great effect here in this match. But in most matches, you probably already have 2 or 3 radar ships on your flank anyway. Now, getting them to move in and radar, that's a different story, but certainly that is, an advantage, but certainly not as big of a one as it used to be back in the day. The last thing about the Missouri and her not being worth it anymore is that, with all this, if you still had pretty decent chances of getting her in one of these Santa containers, might still be worth it. But with the way that Santa containers work, and Wargaming has confirmed that they still work, with the announcement of the refunds on Tuesday to clarify that the Santa containers still work like they used to, where there is a short list of ships that you are more than likely to get from these Santa containers. You might get something else, but there's a very slim possibility. And then once you get all those short list ships, then you can start to pull randomly from the other list of ships. This year, it was 107 premium ships that you had a slim chance of getting out of that pool. You had to first go through their shortlist. The famous Makarov now, the California, and I think the Vanguard was in the big containers. So you had to get those ships first. And then you could start to pull from the other list of ships. So that's not very good odds right there. And look at the rate at which they're introducing new premium ships into this game. The 2021 Santa containers, it's going to be like 1 out of like 150, 160, 170 probably. Probably somewhere like 150, 140-ish. Because, good God, how many times do we go over a dev blog and there's a new set of premium ships coming out? Not just one, like 2 or 3. And, of course, that's probably going to get added into the pool of Christmas containers at the end of the year. So your odds of getting Missouri are just going down and down and down and down and down. And you're going to have to spend insane amounts of money to get this ship, because that's just how the system works. I know one fellow spent over $800 trying to get a certain Tier 9 Japanese premium battleship, and he didn't get to like his last friggin' container. And he already had a bunch of premium ships. He already had well north of, I think, like 80 or 90 premium ships that were on the list. So he had to go through that many containers. I think it was like 200 something containers to get the Musashi. And that's the Musashi. Musashi, I'd imagine if they assign these ships individual chances, Musashi's probably a little bit higher than Missouri. So, yeah, men already had Missouri, so wasn't going for that. But just with the amount of premiums being cranked out, the amount of money you have to spend is going to be absolutely insane. Christmas containers really are only worth it if you already have a lot of premium ships. Other than that, you're probably going to get a lot of low-tier premiums in the first place. And then later on, you may start pulling some higher-tier premiums. It's certainly what we saw when this fellow was doing it. He went through a whole lot of Tier 5, so many Tier 5 and Tier 6 premiums. Then started to pull some Tier 8s, and he had a lot of Tier 8s already. And then he started to pull from the Tier 9s. So it certainly does seem like the Tier 9s have a much lower chance of dropping, which, of course, Wargaming is going to do because they want you to buy more containers to get a chance of getting those Tier 9 ships. And I don't think Wargaming would be too happy if you suddenly buy one container and you just start getting a Missouri straight off the bat. It's possible. There's a very low chance of it happening. I've seen screenshots of people getting lucky in super containers and getting things like the Missouri, and that's great for those guys. And if you want to spend your money on this, go ahead. It's your money, and you can spend it however you want to spend it. I'm not going to berate anybody that dumped a bunch of money into this game. Keeps the game going, keeps the servers up, and of course keeps the game free to play for everybody else, so thank a whale. But anyway, yeah, this doesn't go just for the Missouri, but any high-tier premium ship that you may want to gamble a little bit money on at the end of the year, if it's available throughout the year, just buy it outright. It's going to be cheaper. Like, if you see something like the Georgia that's going away soon, and you may think, oh, maybe I can spend like $20 at Christmas, get lucky again. No. Just buy the thing. Cough up the $80 and buy the thing. It'll come out cheaper that way. Trust me. From the odds that we've seen, especially this year with the Santa containers, it's going to be a lot cheaper that way. If you want it, get it. I know it's expensive, but I mean, hey, with a tier 9 premium, you can honestly just buy one, and you should be set for the rest of your Water Warships career. Like I said with the Jean Bar, you just buy the Jean Bar. It's a really easy ship to farm damage in. You'll be set for the rest of your Water Warships career. Or buy premium time. That's the next. Well, actually, that is the best thing you can do. But that, of course, you have to renew every so often. Whereas with a premium ship, once you have it, you have it. But that's my little PSA out to all of you whales out there, fellow whales. For I certainly fall into that category. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and take that advice and that information, do with it what you wish. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday. If you'd like the video, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way now to 25,000 subscribers. We're getting closer to that goal. You guys have been doing an awesome job recently with the new subscriptions. The winners of the Tier 9 giveaway contest should have been selected, and I should have commented on their comments now. We're doing one at a time. So the first one will be selected. They'll get their comment notification. We'll handle up on their business, and then we will go through with the next two for the rest of the week. I'm sorry, I've just got so caught up with my real job that I haven't had time to sit down and get that done until now. But anyway, guys, hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.